babies and children, some with life-limiting conditions. When Adie was in the hospital with her son, she saw other families having to sleep in their cars to be with their sick children. This inspired her to set up the charity Hugh's House, named after her son. So please give a warm welcome to Adie Stack.
Everything that happens to us in our life makes us stronger or makes us determined to change the way God affected us. We hear a lot about hard cases. And many of the cases you hear about I've experienced in my life. I was sexually assaulted as a child. I did have delayed diagnosed septicemia on my second child in Galway, and a year later Savita Halamanarver died through the same neglect. The hardest thing I've had to deal with has been the loss of our third child, Hugh. It wasn't anybody's fault. Nobody did anything wrong. He just was destined for a short life. And through that experience, we saw that many families weren't getting the support that they needed while their children were in hospital, even if they were going home, or for like us, if it was just going to be a brief time together. This is not a sad story. This is actually how together we can lead the world. Because at the moment what I see is that people are being told, you're restricting choice. That's wrong. We led the world on a smoking ban. That meant you couldn't smoke in a pub anymore, and the world followed us. Why do we have to lead the world down a way that means some people will live and some people will die? I don't understand it. I don't see the need for it. And what I want us to do as a country, and what a vote no says is, we can do better. We can actually lead the way in that if you're going to live for 100 seconds or 100 years, we have a country that's ready for you. I love going to the English market in Cork, but the day it was on the TV with the Queen, I only thought of this a few minutes ago, I barely recognised it because they pimped it. The world looked great. The English market looked amazing. And when a child is only going to come for maybe a few minutes, or for my son for 247 days, we just need to be ready to pimp the world for them. To say, it's going to be your joy will never have mortgage, or your life will never have mortgage arrears. You will never have to fail a spelling test. All you will know is love, and that you are part of our society, a part of We've heard that Ireland leads the way in maternal care, and I know, and no means we will lead the care from conception to when the time is up. And I want that in Vote No, our actions after this referendum turn to making a world-class healthcare. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Adie. Next we have Lorcan Price, barrister, who will be introducing Dr. Hayes.
Medical care every day in our hospitals are the brave men and women who deliver life into this world. So many doctors have been put under pressure by certain loud voices in the media to come out and to support abortion. But I'm about to introduce a man who has delivered over 2,000 babies over the course of his career, and a man who is at the front line of medical care in this country and who has bravely come out to advocate to protect our 8th Amendment. It's my real pleasure to introduce consultant obstetrician Dr. Trevor Hayes.
many years of medical practice, I have never been prevented by the 8th Amendment from doing everything necessary to fully care for women and to fully protect their medical practice. Any suggestion that Irish doctors cannot intervene to protect women is deliberately misinforming the Irish public and creating unnecessary fears. I have never gambled with the lives of my patient.
Speak up!
Never lost a mother. The 8th Amendment has never prevented me from doing my job to the best of my ability. I am very concerned that recent weeks have seen significant and untrue public statements about the practice of maternal health care in this country. No doctor doing their job properly would wait until there is an immediate and critical threat to a pregnant woman's life before acting to protect the woman. The 8th Amendment must not stop me from doing my job. It never has and never will. If a repeal were to happen, 99% of abortions would take place for any reason at all, or on a supposed mental health grounds. That's the reality, based on what's happened in other countries. But you wouldn't take it based on how the present debate is being conducted.
Dr. Hayes, can I ask, do you find your job rewarding despite all that's going on at the moment?
I have a wonderful job. I witnessed the birth of a beautiful baby.
Can't hear!
8 years ago, I delivered a baby. This baby had Down syndrome. This was not a funeral. This was not a tragedy. This was a joyful event, and I congratulated the parents. Every year, to that age, they get a picture. Each milestone, each birthday for our baby.
Thank you so much, Dr. Trevor Hayes. Give it up!
Thank you, Dr. Hayes. A reminder to everyone here, thank you for coming, but you are not to go home empty-handed. There will be merchandise available from the Love Both van, which is just down here on my right. It is donation only all day. Also a reminder that Gillian and Sinead will be there, and they have leaflets for you to hand out on the Lewis and the Dart for the next 13 days, making sure as many people as possible hear our message. Folks, this is a regional rally, and look how many people have turned out. Your voice is very loud and it is very clear. So please, whenever you're leaving, leave in a patient manner, because there's going to be a lot of people leaving through a few gates. Also, going through the crowd, there are people with stickers and badges. Please take one and please be generous today. It's my pleasure to introduce a gentleman. Now, it's just one gentleman. He was meant to be joined by a lady called Sheila, but Sheila can't be here because guess where Sheila is? Sheila is out canvassing today. So we give it up right now for all those individuals who even today are still canvassing around the country and spreading the message about this extreme abortion law that our government is trying to bring into Ireland. Let me introduce you to a man who's a canvassing leader. He is a coordinator and he has his volunteers with him today. They have been out day and night on the doorsteps up and down the country encouraging people. As Roger said earlier, he's only missing one volunteer, and that volunteer is you. It is my pleasure to introduce JP.